Hello friends, it's Julie and welcome to Reseller Tuesday, and today I have a milestone to share with you. And the milestone is I have been selling postcards for 1 year now, maybe a little over a year. That was my dog whining. He thinks he should be pet right now while I'm talking. Also, speaking of animals, if you hear rooster sounds in the background, I noticed when I'm editing that there's a lot of rooster sounds going on. That is from this video. That just happens. I actually don't hear it much anymore because I'm so used to it. But anyways, so 1 year selling postcards. And I want to tell you what inspired me, how I started to sell them, and how I am now today. So how I started selling postcards. This was not on my radar at all. Before the pandemic, I was a yarn sales rep, which means I traveled around through 4 different states around here, sold yarn to yarn shops from yarn companies. It's a totally different job, but I guess it's still selling. And then the pandemic hit, and I was diagnosed with all kinds of autoimmune stuff, and physically I couldn't do it anymore. But I still had my antique booth. So in the interim, they moved me downstairs because they move you downstairs when they have a space, if you do well upstairs. And they moved me to a prime spot right near the registers. So I was outsourcing to just up my game a little bit on the antique booth because it was about the only thing I had going right then. And I came across an online auction that was based out of Billings. I had won a few things. I'll put the link here or below for that auction, and I won a lot of old letters, and in those letters were some postcards, but mostly letters, and that turned into the Sadie story. So with the postcards and the letters, and I had been starting to watch some videos from Auction Professor, and also he mentioned that you could sell letterhead, so I tried that and I actually did pretty well with the letterhead that I had. There's only one piece left and the letters, and I started to sell the postcards. So of course then I was going to watch videos on that because I learned visually, and I came across Mark from SM Postcards, and he has been pretty instrumental in inspiring me between those two. So thank you, Mark, Mr. Rogers of Postcards. I started to list the postcards, and I didn't have very many, and I used a flatbed scanner. Yeah, it was very long and tedious, but it was what I had at the time. It was better than taking photos with my phone because the photos were so much better and they look more professional. So I would sit at night while we're watching TV and scan on my coffee table, just scan, and then I would list. But it's like, this is taking forever, and here are postcards that are probably not worth $4, and the time I put into it, it wasn't that great. By the way, my eBay shop, I had actually been selling on eBay like probably 10-20 years ago when eBay was newer. I even have an eBay magazine I should probably sell on eBay. Way back when it was more what I liked it more. It was smaller, it was more it was different than it is today. And my shop since then is probably not there anymore because it's been too long. But my husband had a shop because he had sold some coins. So I took his shop over. It was all under his name. So if I get in trouble, it's his fault. Just kidding. So I started to list other ephemera because the letterhead was going well, the postcards. I was trying to sell everything I could from that lot, selling books, whatever. I was just trying to feel out what was going well. And I discovered I really liked selling postcards. So what I did was I bought a lot online of postcards, and then I looked at the stack, and I'm like, I don't want to sit there and scan that. Just doesn't want to go for me. So I bought the Epson scanner. Oh, did you hear that? Another postcard sale. I hope it's not another offer. Oh, it is an offer. Oh, we'll see. Let's see if I accept that. So I had started to scan, and it was going really well. And if you had watched my early shows, I was so proud when I had a box full of postcards. And it took a while because everything was in research. Everything was new. I didn't know anything, and I was learning about the postcards, like the eras and what they're made of, and the different, all different things. But I was really enjoying it because it helped it's small because with my autoimmune issues, I can't do a lot of lifting and stuff. I had actually toyed with the idea of expanding my antique booth business, but I physically had trouble at the time. I was worse off than I am now. I decided not, and I wanted to beef up the online sales. Having something online and at home really works for me. Then I decided that I was going to go full bore on postcards. So that brings us kind of to today, because it's just been a learning curve through that. And, I would love to know if you were also, if you sell postcards, or are you thinking about postcards? Where are you in the journey? Or do you just want to watch, other people and their selling ideas and stuff? That's fine too. Or you are a collector, you're just curious about the selling part. I know there's a few of you out there. So let me know where you are on your journey and what inspired you to go with postcards. All right, so the state of my postcard business right now is that I have about 6,500 postcards now listed. It took me a year to get there. I am listing faster now because I just know things more. I don't have to do as much research, or I just don't want to do the research sometimes too. And I decided to specialize in Montana postcards because I live in Montana. People here love Montana. People outside of Montana love Montana. And I know when I see a postcard of it, I can give a little bit more details about it because I know about those places. A lot of them, not all of them. It's very rare when I don't have a postcard sale. I think there's been 3 or 4 days of no sales in the last 3 or 4 months. One of those was when I was on vacation, when I went to that flea market in St. Regis, because I had put my shop on vacation, and I don't know if will do that again because it really took down the algorithm of eBay, and I think that it slowed down. It slowly built up my sales after that. But I think I'm not doing too bad because I sell-through rate is 3 to 4%. Then you might think 3 to 4% is really low. And that is the part of postcards that is different, is that you need to have a big inventory to sell. And, if you watch Popeye's postcard, now Popeye did not have a channel when I started postcards. It was a few months into it where he finally revived his channel. I'm so glad he did. But you see he has his daily what sold videos. He's got about 20,000 postcard listed, and he has not done anything with his shop, but he still sells. So he still gets like $100 or so a day from sales, and he's just coasting. That's where I'd like. So that goes into what does the future hold for my postcard business. I would like to get to the 20,000 mark. I think I can do it within the next year because I would like to have more of a consistent income and to help a little bit more with the bills and the money. Now, another thing is that I have thousands of postcards that are scanned but are unlisted. So another thing I'm doing is I'm not doing as much sourcing. And that is why I have not been going to Matt and John's whatnot auctions and Mark's, because I'm afraid if I go, I'm going to buy something. I'm sorry, guys, because I think I'm getting a little overwhelmed. We can all handle different amounts of stuff. For me, this is as much as I can handle. Now, behind me, I've shown you before my inventory, and I have gotten to the point where I'm outgrowing these white shelves. I already outgrew my little cart, and now I'm outgrowing these white shelves. I think when I get to about 7,500 postcards, I'll be done with these shelves, unless I can figure out some other options on here. So what I'm going to do next is the metal shelf that you've seen in my clean out videos. I'm going to clean out one of those shelves and have my husband build me a shelf to set on there, so I can do 2 layers of postcards in there, and that should get me to, hopefully that will get me to 20,000. So in that little space of 4 shelves here, 1 shelf on a utility shelf can hold 20,000 postcards, because when I go to that shelf, I'm going to use larger box sizes, because right now I really like these. These are Sterlite, and I started off with a different kind of bin. It was this one, but you can see how this is curved. Oh, maybe not. It curved on the bottom. The postcards would kind of, and it's slanted. Postcards would sometimes get bent if there's too much. This one is more of an up and down, more squarish. and they fit really good, and they fit really nicely on these Target $30 shelves. You know, I go all out doing it. I really like these bins, and they're fairly reasonable. I did look into the postcard boxes at one time, and they are really expensive. So I think John had another option on one of his videos. If you go look at his channel, you can probably find how he does his inventory. That is the future where I want to get to 20,000 so I can have maybe a part-time income. And if I don't do a lot of sourcing, except for a few exceptions, then I will be able to maybe make more of a profit because I'm not buying, although I still need supplies and such. I think I'm due to order some more Eco Swifts. So far the customers have been good. I've gotten some repeat customers, and I think it's due to the fact that I did the research before I really went into it, and I learned a lot from other people. So far I know there will be a time when something's gonna get lost, but so far we're good. I think I've only once sent the wrong postcard, and I made it up to them. They were just fine, and only once did I get a return, and that was recent, and the condition wasn't as he expected. So whatever, you know, he sent it back, we're fine. So customer service has been good, and it's been really neat to hear some of the stories of why people buy postcards, or somebody had the house, they had bought the house that was on the postcard, and somebody else said they had a connection to it with their family. I like that aspect of it, the historical, the family, the genealogy, and stuff like that. So ephemera is just something that I love, and I think I've always loved it, you know, but I didn't realize how much until I got into it. And I'm really happy with it. I enjoy it. Sometimes it's not enjoyable with doing the book work. That's not my least favorite part, but it's necessary in order to run a business. I'm in this for the long haul. So stay tuned, and you can see more of the progress. And if you're interested in any of how I do things, I'm going to link a video to a series I recently did of how my whole process through it, if you're interested. And I'll put a link up here and below. If I remember, it'll go up there. If you haven't already watched them, that you would be inspired to see my process too, because I learned from some great people. Mark from SM Postcards, Auction Professor, although I don't watch him much anymore. I learned from John, Popeye's Postcards, from Matt, Jackass Retro, and, you know, various other people, a little bit of other people, but those are the main ones. So they have helped me, and I learned for free online, and that's why I'm in turn helping other people and sharing the journey with you. So thank you so much for joining me on this little milestone here, and I hope that next year I will be able to report to you again on how it's going. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a joyful day. Goodbye.